Alright, put down the gun. It's time for PsiloSybil Episode 2. God help us all. Okay, so I've got some feedback for the developer if you're watching by chance. I mean, probably not, but just in case. Well, gee, that's kind of a sassy way to start things off. What if he actually is watching? But anyway, developer feedback. That plant enemy that you saw earlier, I'm sure you're already aware of this since you're the guy who made the game, but the plant enemy's vine kinda clips into the ground there. I mean, maybe that was intentional since this is supposed to have the stylings of a PS1 game, but I just thought I'd point it out. Just trying to be helpful, you know. That's my first a constructive criticism, and the other will be brought up once the object of criticism is actually on screen. Obviously, no use bringing it up now when it's not even here. So, anyway, switching topics here, the theme of this level is real interesting, huh? It goes against every fiber of my being to not point out the extremely obvious joke that could be pointed out at this very moment. I'm the first person to ever do a Let's Play of this game, and I can practically guarantee that someday somebody far less mature than me is going to walk down this same path, and they won't hold back when they see the waterfall of yellow and green liquid. I mean, look at this. How can you not look at this level and not be reminded of a certain video where Mario has an Icelandic accent instead of an Italian accent? How can you look at this and not make the comparison? If PewDiePie or Markiplier ever plays this game, if it gets big in the Let's Play scene, they're just gonna be upfront about it and it looks like wee. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh dear. So, anywho, that bust over there looks very vaporwave-esque, doesn't it? I'm starting to see a recurring theme in this game. It stands to reason that the creator of this game must have been a vaporwave fan of sorts. And personally, I don't blame him. I was big into the vaporwave scene around maybe 2016-ish. Lots of good music came out of that era. One of my personal favorites being Zero by Blank Banshee. That was a good one. And then I also liked Heat Wave by Amherst. That was maybe not my second one, but that one's definitely top 5. Lots of good stuff in there. Yeah, let me play a sample of it just for effect. Here we go. Yes, indeed. Top quality music being recommended by a Let's Player. Anyway, I don't think this log puzzle is going to give me too much trouble at this point. I think I've played enough Frogger in my day that, yeah, see? It's as simple as that. Okay, just gotta time this right. It's like trying to jump into a double dutch of sorts. And there you go. That was Citrus Falls. Is Citrus Falls related to Gravity Falls? I love that show. I don't know. Anyway, we got other costumes to look at. Let's put on a new one for the sake of visual variety. I like the Tomb Raider one. Lara Croft is a nice, respectable, admirable lady. She's definitely worthy of being a costume in PsiloSybil for the computer. Anyway, so this game's Crash Bandicoot influences are pretty clear to see at this point. If you haven't figured it out at this point, then you are an actual fool. I mean, how could you look at this and not see it? It's right in front of your smelly old face. Yes, indeed. Crash Bandicoot was an influential game, and you can still see its influence on the industry over 20 years later in indie games that were directly inspired by it. Anyway, so yeah, all the remnants of PS1 fandom are definitely on display in this level. The Lara Croft costume and the aforementioned Crash Bandicoot theming. This is something that those disgusting fat nerds at IGN would call a love letter to the PS1 era. Sometimes you look at those IGN reviews and you just wonder if they have like a word bank of sorts with just a bunch of phrases that they can reuse, and a lot of it's just so darned repetitive, you know? So, speaking of 3D platformers, I was looking at the news earlier today, and one of those sweaty gamer sites nominated Balan Wonderworld as the worst game of 2021, and I've already made my opinions on that game clear, but let me reiterate here that it's really not that bad. I think it just got the luck of the draw, or the short straw, or whatever you want to call it, and it ended up being the punching bag of all the zoomies out there. Just an easy way to get likes and subscribes on YouTube was just to beat up on this one game that dared to be different. Most of the people hating on Balan Wonderworld have probably never even heard of Nights into Dreams. I mean, because you know that was its big inspiration, made by the same people as well. And it was being shit all over by people who weren't even a sperm in somebody's ball sack when Nights into Dreams had its 10th anniversary. A completely different group of people. I guess my one complaint towards the game was that it was overpriced. Definitely wasn't worth $60, but I'm on board with pretty much everything else that game did. All in all, it was a halfway decent 3D platformer. I don't let the internet mob influence my opinions. But let's stay on topic here. You want to talk about PsiloSybil. So this scene was almost like a Renaissance painting in a sorts. It's an analogy for life. In order to get forward in life, you need one of the 3 platforms, but they're already being occupied by 3 disgusting pigs. And if you want to get anywhere in life, you gotta knock one of them off and claim your spot in the world. There's a lesson to be learned in that. Somewhere. You gotta get out there and take what's yours. If you just politely sit there and wait for the people in power to hand it over to you, well, you will be sorely disappointed. They will die of old age before they willingly hand over a single thing to the people who need them. Gosh, we're getting political on this show, and not supposed to do that. So the placement of that platform up there, the one right over your head, is just outright evil. This is a master class in game design and how to make things just as excessively difficult. And the fact that once you bounce off of it and land directly on the spikes really just shows that someone put a lot of effort into making this game as challenging as possible. But I'm up to the challenge. I ain't no weenie. We just gotta believe, as Parappa the Rapper says. You just gotta believe. Is that what Parappa the Rapper sounds like? So anywho, I think this'll be the one. Possibly. They do give you some leeway. I mean, admittedly not very much, but just enough. They give you exactly the number of pixels on that hitbox you need to do it. Not a single pixel more. Yeah, see? Anything's possible in Trump's America. No politics. Anyway, okay, developer feedback, this right here. See that? Yeah, put a shadow on that platform, please. That clearly was not supposed to happen. All the other deaths in this game are excusable, but that one is because of developer oversight. Please fix that. I mean, who the hell am I to tell you what to do with your own video game that you single-handedly made? I mean, I'm just some guy. What does my opinion matter? But that's just my suggestion. Take it or leave it. Guess I'm like a beta tester in a sense. Did I say that in the last episode? I feel like I did. Gosh, we just keep doing this over and over and over again. What was that quote from Wall Street? The definition of insanity is hallucinating that there are invisible bugs crawling around underneath your skin. Okay, I guess we're not going to talk to him. And I had to cut out a lot of deaths in order to make this a semi-watchable video. If I had left in every single death that occurred over these 3 episodes, this video would have been like fracking 35 minutes long. We would have been here all day. Or at least for 35 minutes. Okay, so this level's called Borealis, so let me be the first person to make a steamed hams joke while doing a let's play this game, because you know they had that scene with the Aurora Borealis. So I just gotta formulate a steamed hams joke in my mind here. Okay, so Principal Skinner goes into the kitchen, and instead of pulling the burning hamburgers out of the oven, was it hamburgers or steamed clams? No, it was a roast. Yeah, eGuide's My Roast is Ruined. Okay, so Principal Skinner goes into the kitchen to pull the roast out of the oven, but then he gets distracted by playing PsiloSybil for the PC. It's his Steam account that somehow existed in 1996. And he sees the pigs in the game, and that's when he gets the idea for hams, because, you know, pigs and hams. So that's when he makes up the elaborate lie for steamed hams, and then Superintendent Chalmers, Superintendent Chalmers morphs into a rocket ship and flies out the window and puts a giant crater in the moon. That was terrible. Good God. I am not a comedian. Fucking Jesus. So anywho, you might have noticed that I'm neglecting to slap those pigs that are holding the candles. Because obviously if you do that, you lose the light for this area, and then you can't see the platforms. And there's a commonality between 2 of my ongoing Let's Plays here, because the video that came right before this, Mega Man 2, they had those enemies in Quickman stage that were like just torches with faces on them, and if you killed them, the light would go out and then you couldn't see. And now a very similar concept is happening right here and now in a different game. How cool is that? I didn't even plan that. A commonality between 2 totally random things. Ain't that the greatest thing you ever did see? So that egg enemy is very annoying because, you know, when you go right, he goes right, and if you go left, and so on and so forth. It's like that song from The Fray, she goes left and you go right, or you stay right, you know the fucking song. Anyway, when I was a little boy at my daycare center, I encountered a similar problem, because I always get bullied everywhere I go, regardless of circumstances or how old I am, and at the daycare this was no exception. And one of the tactics the bullies would use would be, I'd just be walking around and minding my own business, and they'd try to block me. They'd stand in front of me, and I'd try to go around them to the right, and then they'd do the same and block me there. Then I'd go left, and they'd move left, and so on and so forth. And everywhere I go, there was always somebody trying to fuck with me. At this point, I think it's just me. Something about my personality that lets people think they can take advantage of me. This is far too personal to put on a Let's Play video that's gonna get sent out to the world. Okay, well, that level wasn't too bad, especially compared to the last one. So, I believe we've got a boss battle coming up in episode 3, so stay tuned for that. I mean, if you want.